Okay, if you're planning on moving on to more levels of math, whether it's in college or next year at Brentsville or at another school, functions trig or advanced math or anything like that, then you're going to want to watch this next video too. So this we're going to solve by completing the square. This one's more challenging, and for a few reasons. We do have bigger numbers, we have a coefficient in front, and that's going to make things more difficult for us. So if you recall, we're always looking to complete the square by creating a perfect square trinomial on one side of our equation. So if we don't have a perfect square trinomial to start off with, which we don't, both 6x squared nor are 18 perfect squares. So I'm going to start by adding 18 to both sides and getting 6x squared minus 23x equals 18. Now, the second part of the challenge is that I can't have a perfect square trinomial with a 6x squared because 6 is not a perfect square. So I need to get rid of it. So to get rid of it, since it's 6 times x squared, I need to divide. What I do over here, I have to do to every term. So I'm going to divide everything by 6. And that's going to give me x squared minus 23x minus 23 6. That's a hard word to say. X equals 3. Now we're going to create a perfect square trinomial using our first two terms, just like we did before. So it's kind of yucky because we have a fraction. But again, same concept. We are going to take half of that term and then square it. So half of 23 over 6, I should say negative 23 over 6, gives us negative 23 over 12ths. And squared, that gives us 529 over 144. So what I add to one side, I have to add to the other. So I get plus 529 over 144. Oh, look at that. I have two plus signs now. Okay, that I can factor because it's a perfect square trinomial because we made it one. And it factors to x minus 23 twelfths quantity squared. And when I add 3 plus 529 over 144, I get 961 over 144. Just a quick sidebar, you can do this in your calculator. Whoops, 3 plus 529. And remember, this button right here is your fraction bar. Gives you 961 over 144. So once you have that, you can factor it by taking the square root of both sides. And once you have that, you can add 23 twelfths to both sides, which would give you 54 over 12 and negative 8 over 12, depending on if that 31 over 12 is a positive or a negative, which reduces to 9 halves and negative 2/3. Again, this can all be done in your calculator. So you could add 23 twelfths plus 31 twelfths. You get 9 halves, or 23 twelfths minus 31 twelfths, which would not only do the subtracting for you, but also reduce it for you all in one step. So your calculators are a really great tool. Come in next class. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I love you all. Peace. Good night.